Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Medical Mindset Coach podcast. Welcome back to today's episode. So, as promised from last week, I wanted to talk about the subject of hair loss, which, in a sense, is something I would say probably affects more men than women, which, sort of across the border, normally aesthetically speaking, or traditionally aesthetically speaking, it's things that are really bothering women, that women do drastic measures or take drastic measures to try and improve themselves, change themselves, alter themselves. Sometimes it almost feels like people becoming shapeshifters, and you don't really recognize them. But this is a subject, I would say, an appearance affects more men than women. And that can be receding hairline, bald patches forming, alopecia, or even just losing the thickness of your hair. So, in a case of a woman, if you have a thick ponytail, maybe that's starting to become a medium size to a small size. And a lot of people, think that this is one of the things of aging and it just happens and you have to live with it. But guess what? You don't have to, because there is always a solution. And if there isn't one in your mind, it's because you haven't researched enough or dug enough, because I can almost guarantee you that for every problem out there, there is always a solution. And maybe it's just a solution you have to think a bit more creatively about, or explore a field that you're not necessarily knowledgeable about, or maybe even comfortable with. But it's a very, very massive key saying that I live so almost philosophically by. It's if you want something you've never had, you got to do something you've never done. And that really challenges you to grow out of your comfort zone and try things, right? And if you know me and my personality, I'm always exploring, I'm always trying things, because I think the world is so massive. And it's almost a shame not to get out your comfort zone, because you will never know what adventures you might miss or people you might not meet, because there's so much out there. And for how much I've explored, I think I've not even touched the tip of the iceberg yet. So if there's anything I can impart onto you guys today, it's just really, really a huge encouragement. And even like that movie that Jim Carrey made, like, Yes Man, just try saying yes, obviously within reason, because I don't want you to say yes to some crazy things like, let's do drugs. Yeah. Like, let's drive a car off a cliff. No, do not do that. But you're catching my drift, right? But yes, side note. But speaking about the subject about hair loss today, so going a bit more sad about it, but a very, very, very common feedback, even very regular feedback now since COVID, that I'm getting from patients are hair loss. I just don't know what's happening. I'm going in the shower, combing my hair, and just hell of a lot more, even cleaning out the, where the water filters out in the hole, cleaning out the plug, just so much hair, and I don't know what's happening. So whether or not, we can prove it, but there is or has been a link between COVID and hair loss or alopecia. And the idea is a lot of people who've had the vaccines have experienced that. But not only is COVID, and I mean, it's just a massive theme at the moment. So it's, again, a subject that I'm bringing up to chat about. But it's not just COVID, or actually, and in combination with COVID, is stress. Now, the science behind it, I cannot explain to you. But to let you know that, of course, when your body is completely stressed, it goes into a shutdown program and a shutdown mode, right? So why does that happen, right? So hair, in terms of traditional Chinese medicine, so TCM that I work with, hair is linked to your kidneys. So that means you got to have good blood or fluid movement basically in the body. So we're talking about blood, we're talking about water or hydration levels. So when we get stressed, and as I say, the body perceives it to be like you are running away from a saber-toothed tiger. That's the most common analogy you'll ever hear. And you'll hear these words like you might be going into fight, flight, or freeze. And what physiologically happens is your body just shuts down and is like, what are the things we don't need to work right now that we can just pull a Usain Bolt and run away? And when your body is stressed, then it requires adrenaline to push through from the adrenals, which sit on top of the kidneys, to obviously push out adrenaline to really make you hypervigilant, alert, and really to do things that you couldn't probably traditionally do in your day-to-day. And that's these examples that you'll hear about, like a woman's baby's been trapped under a car and all of a sudden she can lift the car from out of nowhere, right? So that's adrenaline pumping. But when you have that coursing through your veins, quite literally, your digestive system shuts down, your bowel movements seem to back up, just everything just clogs, and therefore fluids are not moving properly. And in order to make things move and flow properly, you need to be sufficiently hydrated. So that's why whenever you go to detox workshops or any therapies or anything traditionally that's to do with the body, they're going to be like, please remember to drink more water. Please drink more water to detox. Please drink more water to help flush these toxins out. You will hear this all the time, right? And then, of course, in our day-to-day, we're eating as a nation or population way too much sugar. We are overeating. We're eating foods that are very dehydrating. Of course, there's the alcohol, there's the stress, there's drugs, greasy, heavy, oily foods, takeaway foods, processed foods. Things are a lot more artificial that is harder to break down. So the body is now just going to a point like, right, I don't know what to do. You're not sufficiently hydrating me. Because I equate our body to a vehicle and water is our fuel. And again, going back to a couple of episodes ago, water needs to be filtered, needs to be purified. It needs to be a good quality, high quality, good fuel to put in. And we don't have enough of that in our body. The car is going to slow down. The car is not going to do or perform the way it should. And therefore, external expression on the body will start to show. And one of those will be hair loss, right? So I'm sure there'll be at least yourself or someone in your circle that'll be like, yeah, I was really, really stressed and I got really worried because my hair started falling out, right? So if that happens, there might be a kidney imbalance. So if you're talking traditional Chinese medicine. But for me and my philosophy, a lot of people are treating topically, so on the outside. And then I just think to myself, but stuff works from inside out. You can't really do it outside in, right? But if you want to get fast results, let's do it both internally and externally to get the results. So regardless of how you've gotten to the point that you've gotten with hair loss, that just implies that there's an imbalance in the kidneys, so in the fluid of the body. There's a depletion of nutrition in the body, and therefore we need to rectify that. So a couple of things what you can do, and I probably will say this till the day I die, that I think colonic is one of the most powerful things to do, because that's going to clean up all your backup. That's going to give you fast, instant hydration. And the same thing with IV drips. And then it's basically kick-starting the car to go, okay, now we need to detox. So we're going through a detox phase, and then we'll eventually get ourselves into a maintenance phase, right? But we need to reboost the nutrition of that. And one of the latest treatments that I'm offering, which I'm really, really excited about, is called PRP. And then as well that's going to be working topically. And then the other one is vitamin injections, right? And guaranteed scientifically proven results, which you can see within, I guess, about 3 to 4 months. Of course, you have to come for some regular sessions. And I, again, equate it to the idea of, if you want results, you can't go to the gym once for that. You'll have to go a few sessions to obviously see some changes, right? And if this is something severely affecting you, as it would, because people are very self-conscious in today's society, it doesn't have to, but unfortunately, this is how the conditioning is of people. there are ways to address it. Right. So how would I address it if I had to see someone coming in and, coming for the need that I'm experiencing hair loss and I don't know what to do about it? So I would start with colonics, so we can basically remove any excess waste product, clean the liver, and hydrate the body. Next action step will be vitamin injection. So I like to do this over a course of 12 weeks, so maybe one a week, which specifically this vitamin is called vitamin H, and it's aimed at increasing your growth of new hair. And this beautifully will help hair, skin, and nails, right? So again, with the colonics, we can help restore fluid balance in the body, and then we're going to boost your body nutritionally. So this is dealing with internal cleansing to be able to help you. So internal boost. And then the latest therapy that I'm offering, or treatment, cosmetic treatment, is really, really incredible. So it's called PRP, which is called platelet-rich plasma. And people are like, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? So the treatment goes that, like a nurse or doctor, I will take your blood from your arm, just like you do in hospital. And that blood, I'm going to put in a special machine called a centrifuge machine. And that is going to be spinning the blood at a rapid pace. And we can obviously set different types of programs to obviously separate them in different ways. Then your blood is going to separate, and then something that's I call it like liquid gold. It's basically a yellow substance called plasma that's very nutrient rich. And what I love about this is that it's from your body. So there is no risk of allergic reaction or any adverse reaction really, because it's using your own DNA to heal you. And I love this. These are like bio treatments. So, we're avoiding the risk of, or, anything non-natural really, because that's what I'm trying to do. Because aesthetic work, traditionally is known to be fake, right? You've got fillers, you've got Botox, you've got things in it that we don't even know what's happening. And then at the same time, you have to use a local anesthetic. So you're putting more chemicals into the body. Whereas in this case, it's all natural. And this is also commonly known, so it can be done for hair, but commonly known as the vampire facial. So we'll separate this blood sample, and then we get out this plasma, and then therefore I'll extract that out. And then one of two things. So in this case, we're talking about helping to treat hair loss. So what I do is then obviously inject into the follicles of where your hair used to be, and then we can start regenerating that. So we're working again with the vitamin injections internally, and then also topically with the PRP. And within 3 to 4 months, literally is as if a new head of hair starts to grow. And of course, we will do tracked progress photos, so you'll be able to see, because the issue usually happens is when people come in and you don't take progress photos, be like, oh, I don't notice any changes. And that's only because you're looking at yourself every day quite critically. And you might not notice a few sprouts of hair that's coming up, etc. But obviously with time and evidence, because I used to be an auditor, and there was this key catchphrase that says, if it's not documented, it's not done. So if you can't prove it, then you haven't done it, right? And it's the same thing in this environment. We've got to take photos just to show and prove sort of the progress that's happened over the months or years or what, etc. And therefore, yes, you'll start to notice changes. And then if you feel that maybe, for example, you still want to keep going for it, there's more regeneration that you'd like to achieve, then of course that will be at the discretion on a case by case basis. So yeah, it's really, really, really wonderful treatment that I highly recommend. But aside from doing it for reasons relating to hair loss, it's also very helpful for specifically a couple of other things that I'm helping in my clinical practice. One being natural aesthetics. So if you want a natural facelift, a boost, and your skin looking vibrant and healthy and plump, and of course helping with the fine lines and the wrinkles, etc. We can do vampire facial. So basically it's going through the same process, extracting the blood. It's a very easy process. It's not very painful at all, because the injections that would be administered in the face is a very, very, very microfine needle, the smallest I believe there is. And then we can help with those purposes. And then this third reason that I like to help with is just treating injuries, like maybe post wounds, so post-operation wounds, maybe some severe injuries that have happened, for example, like gangrene or massive wounds that's been affected, or massive scar, and you just would like to topically treat it to send some regeneration, healing, and even going deeper into like extracting stem cells from the blood and then being able to inject that into the various localized aspects of the body. So it's very, very interesting. So if you have any concerns or want to know more about what we can do to help you with this, please know that there is something out there to do that. So very, very excited about this newly launched therapy in my practice, because it's changing lives. You know, it's very, very interesting. I just remembering something from my stepmom when I was younger that she used to say. She said, if you see a photo of someone that you know is always beautiful looking, always looks great, and then someone in the photo, they don't look quite the same, she said, put your thumb over their face and just look at the hair. And she'll say it's usually the hair, if you're having, inverted commas, a bad hair day, that will contribute to, not looking your best, I think is the best way to phrase it. But everyone is beautiful on the inside, so, and outside. So, yeah, but anyway, side note. So basically, your hair is a really, really important component that will shape you and help you how you look. So, that's why when people go for drastic measures, either shaving their head off, hashtag Britney Spears, or, going from really long hair to short hair, it just completely, or even changing the color of your hair, just completely alters how you look. So this can really lend towards, if you looked a certain way and you loved that, and then obviously through aging and, processes that have now decreased or or nutritionally depleted you, that has come to the case, or having had your COVID vaccines and that has given you some of the negative symptoms, then yeah, just know that there is a way to naturally help, which is what I aspire and love giving and administering. So yeah, just so that you know that there is something out there for everyone, and this is there if you are one of those people who need it. Right. Cool. So on that note, in summary, PRP treatment to topically treat a localized area. If, for example, you have hair loss, maybe a localized injury, or simply just trying to radiate a little bit more and trying the vampire facial, coupled with vitamin injections, ideally to do a course of 6 to 12 weeks. 3 months is always like a prescribed minimum to really maximize the benefits of it. And yes, and of course, if you dare to dig deeper, obviously coupling it with further natural internal cleansing treatments such as colonic, maybe IV drip as well, to really, really, really boost you. I think you're going to hit the nail on the head, and you'll be very pleasantly surprised with the results. So if you're interested, come on down to the clinic, which is based in central London. And the platform is called medicalmindsetcoach.com. Alternatively, if you want to know more, have direct questions that maybe you can't really find, for example, on Google, please don't hesitate to contact me. So on that note, I'm going to register over and out, and wishing you a lovely day or night wherever you are in the world right now and listening in, and catch up with you on the next episode. Bye.